Bible that clearly states that Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him, was a prophet of God and not God.
This is simply a false dichotomy. Christians do not reject that Jesus was sent by the Father and that he gave prophecy. We simply also acknowledge that he also is God. So for every verse this guy gives about Jesus being a prophet, I'll give one in proximity of Jesus claiming to be God.
John chapter 7, verse 16. Jesus answered them and said, "My doctrine is not mine, but his who sent me." Sounds like a prophet and messenger to me.
Well, in the very next chapter, Jesus says that he existed before Abraham and takes on the very name that God shares with Moses in Exodus. And the people he shares it with in the moment are so upset that they try to stone him for claiming to be God.
Acts chapter 3, verse 22. For Moses truly said to the fathers, "The Lord your God will raise up for you a prophet like me from your brethren. Him you shall hear in all things whatever he says to you."
Yeah, well, in Acts 1:24, the disciples are praying to Jesus, and it says, "You, Lord, who know the hearts of all, show which one of these two you have chosen." Why is that significant? Because in the Old Testament, we know that Yahweh is the only one. For you only know the hearts of all the children of mankind. So how can Jesus know the hearts of all as they're praying to him if he is not Yahweh?
John chapter 14, verse 28. You have heard me say to you, I am going away and coming back to you. If you loved me, you would rejoice because I said I am going to the Father, for the Father is greater than I.
Well, you probably should have read all of John chapter 14, where Jesus says he's the truth, the way, and the life, that no one comes to God the Father except through him, that to know Jesus is to know the Father, who is God, and to see Jesus is to see God. Because as Hebrews 1 states, Jesus is the exact imprint of God's nature and the radiance of his glory.
And for the ones who always say Jesus said the Father and I are one, here's John chapter 17, verse 21. That they all may be one, as you, the Father, are in me, and I in you, that they also may be one with us, that the world may believe that you sent me.
Once again, you should probably read the whole chapter before just grabbing a verse. In John 17:5, Jesus says, "And now, Father, glorify me in your own presence with the glory that I had with you before the world existed." Why is Jesus sharing in the same glory as God the Father before the world existed? Because he's one with God in a unique sense that human beings are not. Because he shares the same essence or nature with him.
I could keep going and going to prove in your own Bible that Jesus, peace and blessings be upon him, was a prophet of God.
Yeah, me too. Because Jesus is a prophet. He's also God incarnate. In every verse that you chose, there's another verse in proximity, or verses in proximity showing that Jesus is not just a prophet, but he is God.